India's Supreme Court is expected to wrap up hearings soon on whether an act which grants the less well-off a 10% quota in government jobs violates the Constitution. The EWS quota, or economically weaker section, applies to those earning less than $10,000 a year. A 5-judge bench is presiding over the case. Of the 50 legal issues to be unpacked, 3 have been chosen as key areas to assess. The first is whether reservation based on economic criteria should be allowed. Second, whether the Amendment Act itself breaches the Constitution. And third, whether the amendment excludes other socially disadvantaged classes. For more, Ishan Garg joins us from New Delhi. Ishan, could this act threaten to inflame caste divisions within the nation?
That certainly seems to be one of the worries, because as the system of quotas in India always has been, the preliminary ground on which quotas have been granted has either been gender or it has been India's social hierarchical system of caste. So far, only scheduled caste, or the so-called lower caste in the country, who have been historically disenfranchised, have been awarded quotas, along with the tribal communities of the country. But for the very first time, this 103rd Amendment is looking to provide quotas for the general category, which have been considered to be historically more well-off. So there are now concerns that the scheduled caste, the lower caste, could see it as an infringement upon their rights. It could also lead to concerns that the government might be trying to appease the general caste section of the society, and it may be construed as a notion that may be opposed to the right to equality and right to opportunity in the country. So there is concern that it might lead to distress. But the government has said that this is only a move towards correcting a historic wrong, and it says that people who belong in the so-called upper class category, but they are poor, they also deserve some kind of social protection from the state, and it's the government's right and duty to provide it.
Well, the 2024 general elections drawing closer. How politically significant is this act to the Modi government then?
It could potentially prove to be very politically significant, because a long-time allegation against the Modi government has been that certain sections of the government have been trying very hard to appease the so-called lower caste. There has been caste politics at play in the Indian politics for as long as India has been a democracy. So there are concerns that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government could be using the EWS quota as a way to try and woo the voters in the so-called general category, because this is a voter class that has marginally voted in the favor of Congress for the past 20 years. So political analysts say that if this quota is struck down by the Supreme Court, it could potentially have political ramifications for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But if it does go ahead, it's likely that it will reap him a political dividend, not only in the general elections in 2 years' time, but also in the upcoming state elections in 2 states in the next 1 year.
Ishan Garg reporting from New Delhi. Thank you.